Hi everyone, this is Janus and welcome to Mintay Papers. In this video, I'll be sharing with you this accordion album I made using Mintay Papers Woodland collection. So to start it off, I used 2 pieces of Mintay Chippies album base for my cover, and I just glued in paper number 5, cut of the same size as the chippies, so I think that's roughly around 5 by 7 inches. Correct me if I'm wrong. I am not a fan of measuring, but you may adjust this according to whichever size you prefer. I'm setting these aside for a moment, and I've prepared some white cardstocks cut at the same measurements as my base and with an additional ½ inch on the left and right side of the cardstock. These will serve as my gluing tabs. So I just creased them on both sides and glued them together like so. You'll need about 6 pieces of these, but again, you can go about adding more pages or going for lesser than the amount I used. Now I'm going to glue in my accordion pages into the inside portion of my covers. I've glued in the back portion first, but before I glue in my front cover, I'm placing some white ribbon lace in between that I'll be using to tie my album closed. So this is my entire album base, and I'm going to set these aside for now. And then I'm going to work on the designs of my inside pages. So I used up all the papers to serve as my background. These are papers number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 again, cut at about 5 millimeters smaller than the original cut of the cardstocks and covers earlier. Any excess papers left over from all those cutting, I turned them into placeholders for any photos I'd like to add in later on. I also used paper number 6 to create frames and serve as placeholders as well. So generally, these placeholders are measured at 3 by 4 inches. I also used some white cardstock that I cut to use as the base of the photos and added some gluing tabs measuring about an extra 1 inch. I'm going to keep these hidden underneath my background by cutting slits to hide them from view. That way it kind of looks cleaner and more polished. I'll show you what I mean in just a few moments, but anyway, I also added in some chipboards on 3 sides of the frames and leaving either the top or bottom portion bare. That way I can easily slide in photos into the frames later on. Okay, I'm going to assemble these onto my chosen background. So in this case, this is the back of paper number 1. And I'll be cutting 2 slits about ½ an inch from the edge like so. And just slip in the glue tab, glue that in place, and then it's time to go crazy on the decorations. I'm using the paper die cuts to decorate, but you can fuzzy cut the elements on the cover of Woodland 12 by 12 papers. Along with those, I also used the chipboard stickers that I stuck onto some gold foil paper because I like sparkles and shimmer in my projects. Later on, you're also going to be seeing me use some scrapbook flowers along the way. So at this point, I'm going to be using the extra papers that I trimmed off and using them to create layers and add a design onto my pages. As you can see, not all my pages are interactive. Some are just static and there are no hidden flips and flaps that you can kind of open. So you can pretty much go all out on your own projects, whichever way you want to go. I'm going to leave you guys off to enjoy watching how I put together the rest of the page designs here. I hope you pick up a few things along the way that would inspire you. I'll be back in a few minutes once we assemble the whole thing. Okay, so a bit of a break. I'm going to be using some glitter glue to stick some coarse glitter onto this little ring that I made because I want to create a shaker at the front of my album. I'm also using some foam sheets to add some dimension between this round chipboard sticker and this foiled acetate that I'm going to be using to make the shaker. Once that's all fully assembled, I'm going to wait a bit for the glue to dry so that the contents of my shaker don't accidentally spill out. And I'm just going to glue in the finished designs onto my album. So that's done. It's time to decorate the cover. I'm using some tulle fabrics to add some ruffles along the shaker like so. Then I glued that in place and added more decorations around it using more die cuts, flowers, and leaves, and the chipboard stickers. I also added in some jute strings to give it a more rustic, woodsy look before placing in this Woodland story statement. To finish off the design, I used some glitter paste and sprinkled in some green microbeads. And I'm done. Let me give you a little flip through of the finished project before I end this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video inspired you to create something as well. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mintay Papers for more crafting projects. Please do follow us on social media, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!